Does God publish books? Does he sell insurance? Does he own a yacht? Does he work at McDonald's? So I don't know if you've heard, but I'm here to tell you that there is no such thing as hell. Not one created by God, anyway. That's right, according to recent findings, eternal torment, lake of fire and all that, forever and ever, not happening. Nice gods don't do that. A rocket scientist just worked it out. It's pretty straightforward, really. If you believe in both hell and a loving God, you hold conflicting beliefs. It's as simple as that. The ongoing need to reconcile two beliefs that cannot logically exist simultaneously is not good for you anyway. Cognitive dissonance is unhealthy, particularly when you're supposed to tell other people the good news. God loves you and has a wonderful plan for your life. Plan A, that is. Plan B, it's a little less wonderful. And somehow God's hands are tied when it comes to Plan B. You know what omniscient means, right? It means you can do whatever you want, and if something is there, it's pretty well because you wanted it to be. So, it says in a really old special book that God has organised for mass torture to be carried out for all of eternity. If I was God, I'd be a bit annoyed about that. And I'd be a lot more annoyed that so many people have been taken in by it. How does that make it God's idea anyway? Does God publish books? Does he sell insurance? Does he own a yacht? Does he work at McDonald's? What is it about old books? What is it about old books? But that book, it was published. Here is your book from God, they said. You better believe it if you know what's good for you. Truth bound together with lies over 300 years after the man we call Jesus. How would you like it if you were a parent and you had some kids who went around the neighbourhood telling other kids, my dad's going to get you. He's going to roast you alive forever and ever because you're naughty. And some of those other kids, instead of saying how stupid this is, they half believe it and they go, well, your dad must be a monster then and we don't like him. So kids around the neighbourhood, they're scared of you if they've been taken in by this story. Whether they think they're saints or sinners, it doesn't matter. But you actually love all those kids, and that means, you're not planning to torture any of them. There are some people who don't like it when you say there is no hell, as if in some way it needs to be true. That's funny, isn't it? They don't like it. They feel the need to load others with this belief because it's part of their narrative. They read it in a book. It does change things, though. Heaven is not quite the same without hell. It's like being invited to a party and then you turn up and everyone's there. Like everyone. The host is friends with them all. You're still invited and you're still at the party, and it's actually so much better that it's not quite the same, is it? Or like the VIP lounge. You can be a very important person. How can you be a very important person if there are no unimportant people? Like if there were only 15 people in the world and there was a special lounge for them and they were all invited. You could still call it a very important person lounge, but what would be the point? You may as well take the sign down. The VIP lounge is appealing because it makes you feel special. The unimportant people not being allowed into the very important person lounge is part of what makes the very important people feel very important. No joke, there is no hell. And there is no us and them. These ideas have been put into us through programming. They cause fear and division, and that's the point. So, how can I just get up here and say hell does not exist, as if I know? Because it's not there in the first place. It's not something that's there as a given and you have to put up evidence against it to make it not true. What about Little Red Riding Hood? Is there anything you need to do to that story to make it not true? What if they put Little Red Riding Hood into the Bible? Would you believe in the big bad wolf? It's a story, written into a book, only a problem if you revere that book as if God is talking to you when you read it. And then you believe in the big bad wolf, and you perpetuate that story, misguided as you are, sincerely believing that people need to be afraid of the big bad wolf. There never was a good reason to believe that God was involved in the compilation of that book. Give me one good reason to believe it. If you are teaching this to others, especially children, you are doing them a great disservice and you should stop it. This narrative needs to be seen for what it is. It is not good. It disempowers you. The fear of thinking the wrong thing keeps you in a loop. And it's a problem because the expectation of hell can make it real for people in a way. Don't we have the power to make our fears manifest? At night, we are the creators of our dreams. But in those dreams, we're in a world that feels like it's happening to us. A world where we can be surprised by events and where our fears can play out. But it's our own creation. Well, what if daytime is not so different? What if our waking life is like just a more convincing dream? And our fears are playing out. Our collective perception shaping the world we live in. That would make fear a very real problem. And putting fear into us would be a great way to control us. It's a program. Snap out of it. The truth is, there is nothing to fear. Love is unconditional. And the truth will set you free.